That's when I found out the roof really wasn't on fire.
The roof. Hey, everybody, welcome back. We are here live. That's right, live from DeKalb County. DeKalb. I always go DeKalb. I see the L, but it's not it. Yeah, that's right, in Georgia. Adam, opening debate. The reason why I'm here actually is kind of a part of our opening debate. So I'm missing. I woke up in November and decided and looked and I saw that I was 4 flights short of my A-list preferred, and it's a big thing if you travel a lot. It's like keep that status. And so I was talking to you at the same time, and you're like, hey, since you're gonna be flying around anyway, why don't you just come to Atlanta? Because Austin to Atlanta is not a bad flight. And I was like, yeah, we'll do that. So Adam did some work and coordinated and got us here. And so my question for you is loyalty points. Is it worth it? Is it worth all the hassle?
It depends on what you have to go through to get them, and can you actually do something with the loyalty points? Because there's so many places that have loyalty, everything from the grocery store. Like, when I go to Kroger, which is a grocery store,
Yep.
well, as I say around here,
We have
Kroger's,
Randall and
put
HEB.
S on the end of it.
Yeah.
Like, it comes in handy like for gas because they have like the little gas cards so you can earn points, and like it gives me like special rates on gas. But like for travel, like, is it worth it? I don't know. Like, my upgrades, am I getting upgrades consistently? Seat preference, like, if I guess if you travel a lot, it's
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah, my wife was she was telling me, she's like, well, now there's a Sapphire thing, a card you can get, and the people have the Amex, and you can go get access to these lounges. And I know people who do that. And I'm always fascinated by it because I'm like, I don't do any of that. I guess I have Marriott, so that's like the one thing because I'll stay at a Marriott as much as I can, or a Marriott property, because there's a bunch of them, and there's usually one everywhere. But like for the longest time when I traveled and started in this work, I mean, it was, hey, this is the cheapest hotel, this is the cheapest flight, that's all I'm going to do. And then later I found out, I was like, well, you can roll that into some other things, but
Yeah, I learned my lesson with the cheapest. This was years ago, and hopefully it's gotten better. Not a sponsor of anything that we do, but it could be. Spirit, I flew a Spirit airline, and literally when I got on the plane, it was the bungee cord that was on the seat in front of it instead of like the seat back pocket. So the bungee cord, literally, it was like a hole in the seat that
yeah.
the cord that it was hooked in the top and wrapped around and hooked in at the bottom. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is different.
Spirit sounds like Spirit. But enough about us. We're joined by Dr. Terri Webb. Terri, we've known you for quite a while, but tell the folks out there, tell listeners out there, who you are, what you do, and tell us a little bit about this great team you have here.
Yeah, Terri Webb, DeKalb County School District. Started off here as a parent volunteer, moved into instructional technology specialist. Now I manage a great team of,
You.
I think it's about 13 of us now. So here making sure that we're integrating technology with instruction and just having fun doing it while growing along the way. So,
And your thoughts on the rewards,
the
the
rewards.
debate. Where are you at on that?
I'm a fetch girl.
Oh,
Have you heard
okay.
of fetch? So,
Ah,
fetch, you go in the grocery store, you get points for whatever you shop for. Yeah. So I'm looking.
I've seen it, but I've never used it. So
Really?
how does it work? You get,
So mine's is an annual thing. I cash in on all of my coupons that I'm going to shop with for my birthday. So right now I'm ready for two $50 Visa gift cards because I have about 90,000 points. So it works for
and
me.
it's just stuff you would have been buying anyway, right?
Anyway,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's,
scanning receipts and going. So my nephew, I got him hooked though. He's 10. And so he
ah.
goes to all of his friends, do y'all have any old receipts? I'm like, stop, still a
Oh, because you're scanning them in and then it's registering it all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It is.
That's how with Chick-fil-A. Like I'm like, hey, do you have the app? They're like, no, like let me get that receipt.
Exactly.
Yeah. McDonald's now they do it too. Yeah, right. I guess all these, and we were talking before we started recording though, wouldn't it be nice if ed tech companies did this, or ed tech companies figured out a way to do some sort of loyalty reward? I mean, like right now you probably deal with contracts where you get like, well, we'll give you a 3-year or 5-year or whatever. We'll take some money off the contracts for these subscriptions. But man, how would that look and how would that work?
That would be nice to get a discount on insurance for 12 Chromebooks that did not break when they should have,
Mhm.
been used towards that insurance claim. So I think we should get points. I
Yeah.
would love to have some Microsoft points because I've did so much learning with Microsoft or,
Yeah.
Also not a sponsor of this
Hey,
podcast, but
hey, or yes, and
yes, and
yes, and you know, putting it at the student level where the students are earning those points, like those Microsoft points or whatever, that can be utilized, whether it's in their like Minecraft, their store, like some of the digital points or whatever they can earn.
Roblox gift
Yeah.
cards.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But that would be cool. Like if they can earn it, because now like the students themselves are getting that, then you're getting the parents involved now. Going back to that parent volunteer piece, so the parents are seeing like the fruits of the tech labor because in the South and in Georgia, a lot of places they have this e-splosh where the penny sales tax different districts um, put that in place, and so they use that money to buy new technology
Yep.
because they can't afford this in the regular budget, but having students earn little things and
Level me up.
they get leveled up. It becomes a whole thing now.
Learn
It's
to
really
earn,
great, yeah.
folks. That's right. The learn to earn program. I mean, actually, Principal Amon Ra. We saw him at ISTE, and he was a principal at South Central High School in LA, and they started a learn to earn program with like crypto, some sort of crypto plan where like basically it was like getting attendance because they just had it. And then what would happen is if you had so many days of attendance, you get these little crypto credits that you could put toward like winning a pair of Air Jordans or something that the kids in the community really wanted. They had these huge prizes you get drawings for. And so if you showed up a lot, he said the attendance was through the roof because people were like, yeah, I'll just show up. And that's kind of the first thing is you want kids to show up to learn, right?
Even for the teachers, I have a coworker that works in a district. He gets 30 minutes of time off if he volunteers for a football game. So he's like, I'm earning 6 hours of time off. I got to go volunteer for this game. What better way to get teachers involved?
And you're at the game and you're a trusted staff member. Yeah. You know what? Let's go back though, because I just realized I've never had anyone with an origin story that starts with, I was a parent volunteer.
Ooh.
So tell me, everybody, all of us, like, well, we're educators. We got in this, we started. Adam and I were both teachers at one point. We worked our way into their jobs. So you tell me about what was it as a parent volunteer that you saw that you're like, okay, I want to get involved in this.
So I moved here from St. Louis, Missouri to Show Me State and went to register my boys in school. And when I got there, I was naturally, as a teacher, observing the teachers to see what was going to happen.
So you had a teaching background before you came over.
Teaching
Okay,
background
okay, yeah.
before and was in school for educational technology at the time. And so my child's teacher had 14 laptops, and she's like, "What are we going to do with this?" And I was like, "What are we going to do? Let's watch." So I spent a few weeks in that school system just observing what technology was available and how they were using it. And I approached the principal. I'm like, "Listen, I'm here to volunteer, but looking for a classroom job as well."
Yeah.
So from there, he said, "Do you know about computers?" And I said, "Do I?"
Actually,
Yeah.
you should mention that. Yeah.
And so I started off by literally um, doing a kindergarten specials class. He was like, "Hey, these kindergartners need help."
Yeah.
Yeah. And then after that first round of volunteering, he's like, "Oh, I got another class for you and another class." And so before you know it, I was volunteering every day, building up digital literacy skills.
That's
So
awesome.
he's like, "I got points. Can you apply?" And so that's where the world of technology started with myself in the classroom and the schools.
I love it. You saw a problem, you were motivated, you figured out what could I do to help. Yep. Yep.
So, like, how long have you been serving in this current capacity here in DeKalb County?
So I started doing instructional technology 2016. So this is year 10 for me over
Look at
this
you.
place. I know.
What do you get for 10 years? You get a special prize?
You get time off when you submit your statement of leave.
I also noticed these beautiful MetaRay-Bans you're wearing.
Oh goodness, I get to observe
Yes,
my
yes.
meta lens that I love so much. I really use them for tennis more than anything.
Really?
I do.
It
So
records your tennis play?
it records my
I need
tennis.
those for pickleball.
You do.
Man, I didn't
I
think about
fell
that.
one time and
Dimbo does that.
Yeah, he does for his bike rides. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I fell one time and I'm like, okay, why is my knee hurting? I was able to go back and look at the recording and like, oh, I fell this way. And yes,
It's that double-edged sword of like I've seen that Black Mirror episode where like everybody records everything and then later it's like, oh, we had that argument. No, we didn't. Oh yeah, let me rewind and show you where you said what you said to me about. So you got to be careful, I guess, somewhat with that, but also, yeah, that's
Yeah, as you say that, me thinking about at home with the wife, this could come in handy for some of these
no.
conversations that we have different
Who said what?
yes,
Yeah.
because I have a feeling that she misremembers some
Sure.
information.
And you don't listen.
Yeah, it reminds me of that Dave Chappelle. They would have like the home stenographer
Yeah.
and
The line, yeah. Oh yeah.
call back.
Call back the notes. What was that? Yeah. That is a dangerous thing. Do you think like technology like that? I mean, would you see a role? I mean, it's still early, really. I mean, and we've had Google Glass, it's iterations of it. Do you think it would be useful with students or all students or some students at some point?
Most definitely. Well, it's to the point now, students, I had a student I was talking to, a second grader. She's like, wait, before I say anything, are you recording me? So I'm
See,
like,
they're already aware of.
they're already
That's
aware
good.
of
That is
it.
good.
So I had to explain to her, no, I wasn't recording, and I know it's illegal to record. She gave me a whole lesson.
That
So
is brilliant. I love it. There's your future employee right there.
there's my
Yeah,
future
yeah,
employer.
yeah.
I do think, though, eventually these would be great for that student that's that hands-on learner
Mhm.
that needs to be able to physically see things and recall information.
Yep.
So most definitely, I do see a need for them in the future.
That's
That's cool. I like that student brought that up because we had a great webinar, and one of your students for
Mhm.
the cab participated in the conversation. But one of the things that was brought up was, are we preparing our students to engage in conversations around the issues that this new technology is creating? It's creating a lot of solutions, but we know there's going to be the unknown consequences, good, bad, and different around the technology. So, what are some things that you're doing here in DeKalb? I know you have this program, Digital Dreamers. So, can you tell us a little bit more about how you're really addressing this need with our students and getting them like this digital literacy skills and the ability to be able to have these conversations and make these decisions as they move forward?
Most definitely. Digital dreamers are our students. We call all of our students digital dreamers. And in our district, we've been one to one since about 2018.
okay.
So we started off two to one for elementary users and then one to one for middle school and high school users. And that first 3 years of our Digital Dreamers program showed us that students know how to be responsible with the technology if you show them how to use the technology.
Yeah.
So with that, we spent the first 3 years getting them acclimated to the tools, getting them to understand our digital ecosystem, and then setting those expectations for use. So the second round, I believe we're in the third round of device distribution. Now we're seeing that our students are empowering us to empower them to do what's needed on the device.
Yeah.
So when you think about the young man that was on the podcast a few weeks ago or a few days ago, somewhere around that time, he just he opened my eyes wide when he said that we're in an AI state now, and he said all of the teachers think that we like to cheat using AI. We're not doing that. We're actually taking the information that you all are giving us, and we're learning and using it ethically in order for us to get where we need to be. So, with our program, we're seeing from pre-K all the way up to 12th grade how students, if you give them the resources they need, they can be successful in their space. So,
I'm glad you mentioned AI because your team was for those of you that don't know, we Adam and I do an AI boot camp with Future Ready Schools, and we did our inaugural run this last semester. We actually have our next one coming up in the spring. So if you're watching this
Yeah.
early in January, you could probably sign up for it still. Be sure to check it out.
Got
Website
the link in the show
link in the
details.
show notes down below. Yeah. Anyway, so but as part of that, your team, I felt like, and I mean, there was 10 schools involved. You guys were very much engaged with it, but I mean, I feel like because I think you've had the foundation of those digital dreamers, you kind of came at it at a different lens. I don't know, what was your takeaway from being a part of that boot camp? And you saw, I mean, there's schools from different states all over. Everybody was at a different spot in their life when it comes to AI governance and literacy. What was kind of your takeaway of the boot camp, and then kind of going to the next level, like you're talking about with these students, like how do we integrate that more with the students?
it was an aha moment for our staff because
Really?
they realized that we are actually engaging in AI and doing some things that are going to help not only at the school level but at the district level.
Right.
So that boot camp allowed us to actually break apart all of the things that we're doing in the schools and really hone in on where we need to um, basically touch or who we need to touch in the district in order to support the AI movement.
Yep.
So, looking at our strategic plan, looking at all the resources you all provided with us, and looking at where we're spending all of our money helped us to go in and actually try to figure out, okay, what's next with AI?
Yeah.
How do we approach our chief that has this AI plan and actually put it into action with realistic outcomes for our students?
Yeah.
So it was the realistic approach to what we're actually doing, and then taking it a step further and putting it in the hands of our students and saying, hey, how do we do this? And we're getting feedback from our end users, which are our students, which are our customers, and them giving us the information helps us empower the teachers to make moves to want to grow and support the use of AI.
I love that. I
So,
love that approach.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's so important as we're having these conversations to get all parties in the conversation. You know, your teachers, the administrators, and your parents, because what we don't want to have happen is the narrative becomes something that's not true. Because it's one of these things where if I saw it on social media, or there was a blog post about it, or there was a compelling video of an influencer that said something bad about it,
Yeah.
that becomes my viewpoint. Like the AI is bad, kids are going to cheat and they're not going to learn because this influencer had this video and they also do this thing that I like as well. So it must
Ironically, the AI algorithm made them not like AI, which would be weird. But yeah,
Which that brings me to the part that we talked about with looking at our early learners. So this big thing about what's real versus fake. A lot of the students on that podcast talked about their siblings looking at things, and we're like, "Bro, that's not real." And the kids are like, "You mean that's not real?" So to start those discussions, and they're not coming from an adult, but coming from a peer, has been powerful
Yeah.
in this space, and then helping us create a curriculum or resources or live documents that's going to give immediate instances of situations where kids are using the AI or teachers are using the AI, and we're teaching them how to grow with the current trends, with the current resources, and the current needs for the education system.
Yeah, 'cause that's so true. When I forgot about that part, the students brought that up because I think about it now because my youngest is in third grade, but his experience and he does see some things, some defects that, oh, is that real? But he's seen enough real stuff in his lifetime on the internet to know that it doesn't quite look right at 8.
right. A little off.
So he's had a few years of looking at YouTube for kids with real stuff before AI became a thing. But I'm thinking now about that 5 year old that's getting on YouTube Kids today or starting to use the device. The internet that they see, the technology, the stuff they see is going to be a mixture of
Real
AI generated. It's going to be real stuff out there. So they do have to learn because to them, I don't. It's on the internet. It must be real. It's real to them.
Yeah.
Versus kids who have seen real and now they've seen AI stuff. They can kind of say, well, it's a test. I kind of have to go in my head. But a 5 year old seeing a video for the first time, like that's really real. Like
Yeah.
Yeah. We learned from Sesame Street and the letter people and all those
Yeah.
wholesome people, that did not have the technology. But what do you do when that digital native comes with the technology that we haven't even seen before?
Right.
And they've already, the question used to be, what happens when that student Googles your homework? Well, now what happens when that student AI is your responses?
Yeah.
So how do we teach them? Okay, yes, it's okay to use AI, but look at the response, pick it apart, make sure it aligns to what you are actually saying. Because other than that, you're creating a picture of someone else that does not really depict who you are. So,
And it's interesting when we got so for those of you who know, we're recording this during the holidays, and outside this hallway, by the way, I'll just tell you all in these offices, these hallways are decked out with all sorts of hallway decor. It's amazing. And then you said something to me right before we recorded. It's like, oh yeah, we're doing this, we're having this contest. But then you said something about Notebook LM. So how do you tell me what are you doing with Notebook LM? How are you using AI in your everyday work?
oh my goodness. So we had to go through and look at all of the resources that we're doing, look at our strategic plan, look at where we are right now, and then we had to analyze what it's going to look like by the end of the school year. So
Okay.
in the midst of the chaos in the hall, we're doing a hall decorating contest, guys. We had to stop and create a video and a timeline of resources. And Notebook LM was our lifesaver. So
Okay. I've
we were
been loving
able
it more and
to,
more.
yes, to put first of all, it's a housed amount of resources that you're using. I guess I can say it that way.
Yeah.
So it wasn't searching Gemini, it wasn't searching all of the different AI platforms. It was only searching the documents that you had.
Give it its brain.
So I had
Yep.
to give it a brain of real information.
Yep.
And as I was giving it a brain of real information, I like how you put that, it was able to give me a video. I said, give me a 6-minute video, include information from both SIS and instructional technology, and tell us how we're working together
Yeah.
and give us an outcome. So we were able to produce an infographic of our facts and what was going to happen, where were the growths, where were the pain points, and then it created a cool video that aligned everything that we were doing so that we can share this to the board and show we are working, guys.
Yeah.
Here's your data, here's your dollars at work. So
And that would have been 40, 50 hours worth of work to tabulate all that data, put it
15
together in something graphic, and then make it look like a beautiful video that you
Yeah.
can present to your board in 5 minutes. And it
Exactly.
does it all for you. But then you can also, I like how you asked it to point out certain things. So you're prompting it as you're building it too.
Yes.
Because I just think about my, the time I spent as a tech director and and I would have all these data points from like a device usage and breakage and application things. And some of the platforms that we had, they give good uh, analytic data.
Like login
Yeah.
usage and time on task. Yeah.
But as far as, okay, what questions should I be asking, additional questions, or what should be some possible action steps based on this data? What are some things that I could maybe figure out from this data? That's left to my own brain to figure out prior to AI. But now you can throw your data set in there and say, okay, what trends do you see? What questions should I be asking? If I'm trying to increase student XYZ, I can put that prompt in based on this data. It would give me some things to look for, some next steps. And I think that really empowers uh, tech directors, people new to different positions. They don't have that background knowledge and history on like, oh, well, I should be asking this question, or this would be something that I should know or do. I, I think that's really the amazing part that we have, we run into with AI. So having said all that, how do you then have conversations with educators
Yeah.
around how can you use this tool personally to be better at your craft, to improve your skill sets, to grow professionally and personally using a tool?
I go with old school. Start with the end in mind. What are you trying to accomplish? That's the first thing. And then from there, what are your look fors that's going to make you look good, make your leaders look good, make your students learn, and things like that. And then from there, you start building out that outline and then I call it a mind map in order to help you get what you need. One thing the Notebook LM did for me was it helped me organize my levels of importance with the work that I need to get done. So, do I focus on the teachers right now? Do I focus on the students right now? Do I focus on the leaders? And the data that came from the resources that I gave it, it told me how much time I had already spoken with the leaders about this, how much time I needed in order to get to the teachers, which with the students, which helped me decide I need to get to these teachers first because the teachers see both ends of the scope. So it helped me. I'll give you one other example. I've been thinking about the leadership side. So we created this program for a particular department. And once we created the program, we trained the team, right? Because they're supposed to lead the
Sure.
space. Well, when we finished the training and all the good stuff, the people that were doing the work were not doing their work properly, right? And so I'm getting all these emails. Hey, can you fix this? Can you do this? And they're including some people, they're not including others. So I put that in I put all of the email threads and the information, the course into Notebook LM. And I said, tell me what's the problem, give me a solution. And it instantly gave me a study guide on how to train these teachers properly on all of the issues that they were
Based on their most asked questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it also told me your course is fine. The training you gave is fine. But these people need this type of help. So
Yeah.
that was powerful.
So it did. It helped you identify the blind spots.
Yes.
And then, of course, what I like about Notebook LM, not that they're a sponsor of this either, but yeah, like you said, that's all. It's just containing the stuff you put in its brain. It doesn't train on the data. I checked that when I put my book in there and had it do a study guide for my book. And before I did it, I was like, let me make sure it's not taking that and putting that out on the web
Yeah.
somewhere or learning from it. But it's very specific. Of course, I asked it to read its own terms of service, and maybe I shouldn't trust it. Now that I say that out loud.
Well, I pulled all the questions from Copilot. I'm like, look, check my
There you go.
email from this division. And once I gave it the division, it was able to skim through and tell me all of the ongoing, and it said nagging questions that we were
Yeah,
getting,
sure.
which was causing us to lose work time. So if you equate your time with the emails that you're spending
Just
with,
reading them and going, yeah.
yes, I mean, it was a lifesaver and it saved us some time.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like even like getting questions or issues back from people. Let's say you roll something out and this is all your questions. Even taking, okay, well, this was all the directions I gave the people. These are all the questions. Okay, where are the gaps?
There's a disconnect.
Yeah, and it's saying, because AI could find something. Oh, maybe you should have said this versus this. This is why this kind of got misinterpreted. Maybe this or that. Or to your point, oh, you did a really great job. Maybe these people just didn't read your email or read the document or even saying, you know what, you may want to add some more visuals to it because some people can write really great directions, but if it's not appeasing to the eye, if the text is too
Differentiate.
clunky, it's like, oh, you may want to break it out in segments, or there's different things like that. I think is really that piece that can make something from good to great, or take someone who may be a one of one or not have a peer to be like, hey, look over this and give me some feedback, or an administrator to give them support. They could use that tool to fill in those gaps and grow, because we do have in education right now a lot of educators in positions that are new to them. We're having a transition over in some leadership in some
Yep.
places. So that institutional knowledge in some cases is leaving us. We're
Yeah.
losing that. So
How
how
do you
can
keep
we?
that?
But the mission still has to happen. The vision still has to happen. We still have to do these things, but we are losing that experience out of our field right now.
I'm looking. I see what I'm currently seeing are what I call the new age teachers, and those are students that were students with my children, and now
Oh
they're
boy.
teachers.
Yeah.
You know,
We're there too. Yeah.
and teaching them how to self-reflect on their short lived time from leaving high school going into the college and teaching world. What are some key things that we missed
Yeah.
as a teacher? What are some things you wanted your teacher to do in order to get you where you are now? And having them take those things and put it inside of whatever AI tool that they use, and say, come up with a plan to help me modernize this structured behavior, has been a big thing, because the new teachers, they're AI crazy. You
Right,
know?
right. It's a part of their upbringing. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think it'll be interesting to see kind of like over time what that transition looks like in terms of the teaching quality. Because students call out teachers now. I mean, like, hey, I saw you.
Hmm.
You could tell I used AI to make whatever that was. So teachers need to be transparent with that too. But transitioning to this, we always ask someone this at the end of every episode. So I want to ask you this question too. And again, there's a lot going on in this world, and I mean, this county's huge. You're all over the place. You
Like
got
how many
13.
students are in DeKalb?
We have 89,000 students.
That's
Yeah.
bigger than Austin ISD, where my kids go to school, and 13 of you
Yeah.
supporting the entire school district on the
Yeah.
instructional tech side. What do you do to keep yourself undisrupted, you and your team? Like, what are some things you do, techniques? I know you got some beautiful hallway decorations out here, and this is the holidays, but what are some of the things you do kind of for yourself, but also for your team to keep yourselves undisrupted?
I'm going to tell a secret.
Okay, well, no one will hear it except,
No
except for
one
everybody who downloads this podcast. Yeah.
So, my level of relaxation is going around the corner to the Target and just going up and down the aisles and not telling anybody. And then I come back relieved as if I've shopped, and I really haven't.
Yeah, you don't
So
shop, so you just
I
go.
don't shop. I just go. I
Ah,
just go.
50 Cent have a song? Is a window shopper.
yeah. I've heard of retail therapy where you like go and spend money on stuff because you're just feeling stressed. But
Yeah.
yeah, I love that yeah. So you put yourself in a completely different environment and then kind of just walk. And of course, it's weather controlled, so you can do that.
Get
And then
some steps in.
get your steps in.
I turn my watch on. I go the outer banks, and then I go in and out the
You
aisles.
have a whole,
I
yeah,
have a whole spiel, and then I go to Starbucks and get a water because I'm counting the calories,
and
right?
they're free. And the
And
water there is amazing.
the water there is amazing.
Yeah,
And then I come back and I tell everybody we do 15 minutes of sale talk. And so we just talk about all the deals that are inside of Target. So
that's awesome. It's like, oh, here's a good one. Here's a good one. Okay.
yes. And then Fridays, we have Leora is one of our wellness coaches. We call her the Wellness ITS. And we do 15 minutes of wellness wind down every Friday at the beginning of all of our meetings.
Okay.
And so we talk about what's going on, then we deflect on everything. And she gives us this calming activity, and then we woo-saw and we get back to work. And so it kind of works
I love
out
that.
pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And it's intentional. You put it in there as part of your practice. I think that's so important.
It's one of those things where, because very often we tell people you need to take time for yourself. You need to
Right.
relax. Okay, well, it's one thing to tell somebody to do it. It's another thing to create an environment or opportunities, or even the guidance to do those things.
Yes.
Because people by nature don't know how to do those things. And some people are always wound up doing work. Like, no, we're going to have a structured time where this is what we're going to do. We're going to put away the work for a little bit, and we're going to do this versus that. That's so important.
It is important, and I'm not the one that leads everything.
Yeah.
So, as a leader, I feel that everyone has to have the opportunity in order to be in this seat to understand the why behind their position.
Yeah.
So we all take turns in being the leader for staff meeting. So each Friday, someone else is going to coach us on something so that we can all learn from one another and feel empowered to make sure that we know what each other is doing in order to make sure that we're being productive in the district.
I want to say that's a standout quality that I've noticed from you that I don't see, I definitely don't see in a lot of tech leaders, is that you're everywhere I've ever run into you or gone to conferences together. It's always like, well, let me introduce so-and-so. Let me, like, in fact, after this podcast, we're going to have someone from your staff on as well.
Yes.
And so always figuring out ways to lift others up. Tell the folks out there, where can we find out more about you and your great department?
So you can find us on DeKalbSchoolsGA.org/instructional technology. We're all over X and LinkedIn. My handle is I2TeachTechGA. And it's all connected to everything we do inside of instructional technology. So.
Well, thank you so much for hosting us today. It's been great to be here live, doing the live podcast here from DeKalb. So thank you, everybody, for listening. And this has been another great, exciting episode of the No Scripted Podcast, brought to you by All for Ed. He's Adam, and you can follow him at AskAdam3.
And he's Carl, and you can follow him at Hooker Tech. And
Remember,
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, we are better together.
and we are better undisrupted.